Do you know why there are mysterious numbers at the back of the Bible? They are not phone numbers, but a special punishment guide for women. Michael quickly dialed Sheriff Moy, remembering he mentioned a cold case about a woman murdered in the 40s, whose initials just happened to match one of the names we're looking for. And shockingly, the method of murder mirrors the punishments described in the Bible. Is Hailie's notebook actually documenting 5 murder victims? This is getting creepier by the suddenly Henrik falls ill and is hospitalized. His lawyer says he's in a bad state. Michael thinks, what if Henrik dies? I must find a way to distance myself. To solve the case fast, Michael needed help. The lawyer suggested Elizabeth, who once probed his past. Perfect fit. Elizabeth, a capable young hacker, proved Michael's innocence by hacking his email. What a savvy detective. Of course, she doesn't want to end up behind bars, but being intrigued by the case, she quickly agrees to be Michael's sidekick. Her first mission? Find the link between these victims and Hailie's disappearance. Meanwhile, after Henrik's hospitalization, the family starts to catch on to Michael's. Hailie's mother appears displeased, demanding Michael stay out of family affairs. Martin supports his quest for truth after their father's sudden death. Henrik snatched custody from the mother and isolated him, a classic irresponsible brother stuff. So, their feud runs deep. But Martin's unbothered, hoping the truth about Hailie's disappearance surfaces. Elizabeth, of course, delivered. Soon, she identified the 5 victims more unseen. Their methods of demise match exactly what's in the Bible. Could there really be one sinister killer pulling the strings? The timeline wins from the 40s into the 60s, and all what a coincidence, Henrik's 2 brothers were Nazis. The younger one bit the dust on the battlefield, and the elder is living a hermit life. Was Henrik on a quest to find this killer before? The next day, Elizabeth had another light bulb moment while going through old parade photos. She spotted Henrik being startled, with a bystander snapping a pic right behind. Maybe that person's camera captured a glimpse of a killer. Just as they were set to investigate, they stumbled upon a dead cat at the doorstep, its demise matching that of the victims. What a spooky warning. Looks like the killer's sending them a little message. Michael printed the bystander photo to show around town, asking residents if they recognized the face. Finally, at a nursing home, someone recognized the mystery person. Luckily, the elderly gal still had her wits about her and preserved the old snapshot. After meticulous comparison, they found Henrik's true identity. Michael enlarged the photos but couldn't identify the person. Unexpectedly, the killer sent one last warning. Luckily, Michael's injuries weren't too severe. Elizabeth set up a whole surveillance system. She's practically a tech wizard. Next day, she sought Martin and the lawyer, demanding private family business files, insisting they'd aid the case. In the end, Martin agreed, realizing that since the killer is a family member, the victims must be linked from various locations. Elizabeth took on the task of uncovering their connections while Michael delved deeper into the old photos. This investigation is getting intense. He spotted someone holding a camera at the accident scene, Henrik's older brother. It was Michael's first encounter with this rather grumpy old dude. Surprisingly, this guy wasn't as tough as rumored. He gave Michael many old photos. Among them, a photo taken during Hailie's search caught Michael's interest with a blurry face. Meanwhile, Elizabeth stumbled upon a pattern. Each crime scene was a former business location, and some victims were even employees of those companies. Martin's father, Godfrey, had been chairman of these companies before he passed, and these incidents all went down during his tenure, especially following big announcements. It's clear that Godfrey has a major connection to these victims. Meanwhile, Michael noticed a figure in the photos obscured, but the school uniform makes it obvious. That figure is none other than Hailie's brother, Martin. He returned to town before the accident and was obviously lying about his whereabouts. There's a clear connection with one of the Martin's suspicion naturally grows. Such murder spiked 2 years after Godfrey's death. Elizabeth realized there might be more than one killer at work. She reviewed a student who was murdered in 1967 and discovered that the school was heavily sponsored by the company. Coincidentally, Martin attended that same school, and comparing his uniform and appearance linked him to Hailie's disappearance. Too bad the island has terrible reception. Unable to contact Martin in time, Michael decided to take a helicopter straight to Martin's house for some sleuthing. Guess what? The door was wide open when he grabbed a fruit knife in the kitchen, exploring for evidence to confirm his hunch. Just then, Martin came home. Michael tried to slip out the side door, slipped, and crashed into Martin. Martin invited Michael inside upon noticing him, and soon realized a knife was missing from the kitchen. Guess who had to play the obedient guest? You got it, Michael. Turns out, the house had a hidden underground chamber dungeon. Michael was knocked out cold, only to wake up totally at Martin's mercy. Talk about a plot twist. Martin grilled him on all his deductions. Upon hearing a certain classmate's name, a wicked grin spread across Martin's face. He confessed to the sins he and his father committed ever since their grandpa bit the dust on the battlefield, targeting Jewish girls talk about morally bankrupt. Hearing this, Martin became instantly agitated, as if he thought they'd uncovered Hailie's whereabouts. Mikkel suddenly realized Hailie might actually still be alive. Just when he was about to be dealt with by Martin, fortunately Elizabeth swooped in just in time. As she untied Mikkel, Martin made a sneaky escape. Elizabeth revved up her bike and chased him down, both of them racing to the island's bridge. Elizabeth zoomed past Martin with superb driving skills. He swerved violently to ram her. In the end, a crash repeated as Martin's car veered off-road, igniting a massive gasoline explosion. He died in the fire then and there. Photos of Hailie were later found in the basement, proving her family's captivity. Yet Martin seemed utterly unaware. Clearly, Martin was clueless about Hailie's location. If she's still alive, the only one who likely knows her whereabouts is Anita. Next, they headed back to London to put their theory to the test. They hacked into Anita's internet and phone, then Mikkel swung by for a friendly visit. Mikkel told Anita of Martin's death. Her face showed mixed emotions.